Hi, we're Lindsey and Ken and we love to travel.
Why not come and join us as we explore new places all around the world?
Pick up some useful hints and tips and don't make the mistakes that we have.
See the things that we get up to and take a look around the ships as we travel.
Why not subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to make sure you don't miss out. Hello. And good evening to you all. Thank you for joining us tonight.
On this sunny evening.
Sunny,
Beautiful out there.
Isn't it lovely to have a bit of nice weather for a change?
Well, it's a bit different from snow, isn't it?
Well, we had nice weather as well.
Yeah.
We had every sort of weather you could ever think of on our cruise. But
First of all, can we just get somebody to check, if you wouldn't mind checking that you can actually hear us? That would be really nice. Meanwhile, we'll just keep going. Keep plowing on.
And
we seem to have an awful lot that we want to talk about tonight.
Yeah, I've no idea why. No. Busy times, eh?
Yeah.
Busy times, yes. Oh, and I do apologise to everyone for not putting a video out this week, but unfortunately, we were on a cruise, so didn't get round to it.
Yeah.
Did we? No.
Well, you didn't.
No, I didn't get round to it.
I don't do that sort of thing.
No. Good. Anyway.
I should have cracked the whip a bit harder. Sorry.
Sheila says she can hear us loud and clear,
well,
so
lovely.
we'll carry on.
We can start
Right,
then.
let's have a little look and see who is in. Oh, before we begin, I just put this little message up for those of you who are joining us for the first time tonight, and we know that Andy's on here already, and there's a few others that we met on the last cruise that were talking about joining us tonight. It'd be really nice if you do. If you do want to ask a question, if you can just put question at the beginning, it's easier for us to spot them. Otherwise, we tend to miss one or two, don't we?
You do.
Well, I do. My eyesight is terrible.
Meanwhile, Dax has had enough already.
Dax has had enough already. Yeah, sorry about that. So let's say hello to a few people. Good evening, Corin. Yes, looking forward to hearing about the cruise. And yeah, look forward to meeting you next month as well. Yeah. Hi, Bob and Holly. One of our spanners is here. And hi to Gil and Sandra, who we met on Baletta last year, didn't we? Yes. Nice to meet you guys then. Stephen's here. He's got a question. Hi, Stephen. And we've also got Rose, Reese, Paul and Carol. Hi, guys. Thanks for joining us today. I know you're busy. I expect Paul's busy in the garden again, isn't he?
I would hope so.
Anyway, before we go any further and before we start taking some questions, we just thought we'd give it a couple of minutes and then we'll show you some of the bits and pieces that we got up to on our recent cruise. So here it is. So that's just a little bit of what we got up to, but obviously when we get the vlogs done, you'll be able to see all the details behind it.
That's already made me smile, seeing the dogs.
Oh, I know, yeah.
In amongst everything else that was happening, we had an awful lot of people that came up to us and spoke to us, which was really nice.
Yeah, great.
And it was very humbling to hear from a lot of them, and some of them might be hearing as well, that we had actually influenced them with some of our videos from 2 years ago, and they chose to do this cruise as well. So it was really nice to meet them. It was really nice to hear some of their stories, and we were very much humbled by it. There were loads of them, and I've got a few of the names here. So a few mentions. Firstly, to the admins of the 2 Facebook pages that covered the cruise. Yes. They did an awful lot of work behind the scenes before we went, and we would like to pass on our thanks to them. And also to Emma and Dave from the Isle of Wight. Yep. Hope you're feeling better now. Both of you have been poorly since we got home. And the rest of them, just excuse me if I miss anybody, because there's quite a list.
Yeah.
I'll just read them out. Mandy, Andy, Janine and Kev, Hayley, Jan, Maggie, Emma, Kathy, Alma, Joe, Leona, Tom, Ben, Andrea, Paul, Jason, Louise, Nathan, Sarah, Judy, Nick, Ruth, Ken, Jill.
My
and
goodness.
Loads more.
Lots more people
more, because
actually
we kept
get
on
their
seeing
names.
people in the corridors and it was just places where we didn't have a pen and paper to write them down.
Yep.
Badly organised. But it was really, really nice to meet everybody.
Yeah,
Thank you very much for saying hello to us. It was really nice.
Good. Right. So if we just sort of go down to the questions, and as I see other people's names come up, we'll say hello to them as well, because otherwise I shall lose my place and not know what I'm doing. So our first question this evening is from Stephen Brown. He says, I'm going on Aurora in December in search of Northern Lights. Do you have any tips to make it a fantastic experience?
Take some warm clothes.
Yeah, we were lucky actually.
It was very much warmer this time than it was 2 years ago when we went.
2 years ago we had -20. This time I think the lowest was -8, wasn't it? But we did have quite a lot of rough weather at sea. We had force 10 gales one night, and there were sick bags all over the ship, weren't there?
Yeah. Of course,
we were lucky.
We smiled as they came out.
Yeah.
But we also know that there were other ships in and around the area, and they were going through it as well. So it was quite a storm that night. Well,
it was.
Everybody was going on about it the next day, and I think we were kind of going, oh,
well,
right,
we did sleep.
We did sleep.
Anyway, tips for Stephen. Right. So, if you want to photograph the Northern Lights, you need either a reasonably modern phone, and it appears from what we've seen on this cruise that the iPhone seemed to work better than the Android. I'm an Android person, but I have my camera, so I was using my camera. The other thing that's useful is to have a tripod. It doesn't have to be a big tripod, it can be a little monkey grip or whatever, because your exposure times, if the lights are dim, and they do vary a lot, are going to be around about 13 seconds, and you can't hold a camera for that long. However, at one point on the cruise, they were really, really bright, and you could take them with anything, really. So it does vary. The other thing I suggest, because a lot of things with the lights we had were they were out for a very short period of time, and then they disappeared again. So if you weren't ready and available in that sort of quarter of an hour period or half an hour period, you'd miss them, and quite a lot of people did, unfortunately.
Well, that's included one night.
That's included one night, yeah, because we're watching a show in the theatre, weren't we? So my other advice would be is to have get one of the apps on your phone, if you've got a smartphone, which is the Aurora app we used, and keep your eye on it, which does mean, unfortunately, if you're not in port, you will need to buy some Wi-Fi, but it's well worth it, because despite what they say about the ship making announcements, the one announcement I actually heard on the ship was 2 hours after the lights had disappeared. So you can't rely on the ship to tell you when they're out. I'm sure Lindsey would like to offer you a word of advice about what excursions to do.
As soon as the excursions become available, if you want to do something like dog sledding, or the reindeers, or the skidoos, or anything like that, book them up straight away. And if need be, have a look at some of the other companies that are up there.
Yeah.
Get your guide,
Viator, and even the Visit Norway themselves. You can book direct with them. They are slightly cheaper, and as long as you've got an overnight in port that night, there's no issue with getting back in time for the ship.
But just have a very careful look at what they are offering, because Two of the people that we met on there, they went.
Lisa.
They went in Tromsø.
Yeah, I think so.
Tromsø.
Yeah.
And they did an independent tour, which was very good, but it was self-mushing.
Yes.
And she came off the back.
Yes.
And unfortunately, the dogs didn't stop.
And her mum was on the sleigh, who was in her 70s, I think.
80-year-old mother.
And they just kept going with mum on the sledge. Not funny, really.
No, it wasn't funny. They were smiling about it the next day,
Yeah.
but she was bruised and battered a little bit.
Yeah.
But just be aware that if you have to do it yourself, you need to be reasonably fit to be able to do it, don't you?
If you're doing that, yeah. And the other thing you need to take care of is your holiday insurance as well, because if you're doing mushing yourself and things like that, please check your insurance. You may need to get winter sports cover to cover it, otherwise you may not be insured if you do fall off. Which is
But in the main, just take it for what it is. It's not a traditional cruise.
No.
Because you're up at stupid o'clock both ends of the day, and just enjoy every moment you can, and enjoy the cruise at the same time.
The other thing I'll say is
It's a
that
very happy cruise.
it is a very
Snow
happy
makes
cruise.
people very happy.
Yeah, snow makes people happy. Cold but happy. The other thing I will say is there are trips available to go ashore into areas of darkness, apparent darkness, to aid better photography of the Northern Lights. I personally believe if they're coming out, they're coming out. And we had some of the best sightings while we were at sea, didn't we?
Yeah.
So if they're out, they're going to be out whether you're at sea, whether you're in a port or whatever. If you want to share the experience, because some of these offer other experiences, like they tell you about the Sami culture and the history of the Northern Lights, they're very good for that. And if that's what you want to hear as well, and they give you advice on photographing them as well, then they're good. But if that's not really what you're after and it's just better pictures, I don't think you gain that much.
Just be very wary.
Yeah, and we actually saw someone who on their trip was taken out, and they said that they had a housing estate in front of them and a road behind them, and it wasn't a very good place at all. And also when Emma and Dave went on theirs, because of the time change, the clock change, they were there in daylight on their trip, so you weren't going to see anything anyway. So just be careful. That won't be the case in December though.
No, it'll be reasonably dark.
It will be very dark. Yeah. Right, let's go through. Rose is here. Hi Rose, nice to see you. Bob saying hi to Gil and Sandra. And Gil and Sandra, hi to Rose, who was part of our wonderful quiz team, wasn't it? Well, they were wonderful. We were.
Oh yeah, we wouldn't know. My skill was writing the answers down, I think.
Good evening to Reese and Catherine. Nice to see you, and everyone else. And Paul and Carol saying hi to everyone as well. So let's go back up the top. Oh, I've gone too far. I think I've missed some bits. I've got so many things coming through, I missed them. Right, so I've just got to look over
I can't
here.
help him. That's way beyond my capability, I'm afraid.
I'll find it, but I won't be able to put the questions on the screen. I didn't hit them soon enough. Right, question. Next question. Paul and Carol, how many husky dogs did you want to bring home?
Well, that's a difficult question, really, because they wouldn't really be suited to living in this part of the world. They don't like the warmth that much.
No.
And they smell.
Boy, do they smell.
Oh, God. I mean, Dax has wind issues occasionally, but nothing compared to them.
No.
I think if I was going to bring one home, it would have been one of the pups. We saw some 4-month-old pups when we were able to have cuddles. You will see that in the videos.
Yeah.
I would have probably brought one of those home, but it was actually quite big to get into my jacket. I know that the cruise monkeys, they saw a 4-week-old puppy.
Oh, yeah.
But they weren't allowed to hold it because of it hadn't been injected or anything. But that would have been lethal if I'd seen that.
Yeah, it would have. Yeah.
But they're nice. They're really friendly.
Yeah.
And
they're so affectionate, aren't they?
They love their attention, don't they? But they're not jealous of one another. If one's getting attention and the other's not, they're not bothered by that.
Yeah. So we'll go on to the next question, which is from Reese. And and it's did you see the Northern Lights with your eyes, or did you have to use cameras to see them? It was a bit of each, actually, depending on which viewing it was. The earlier ones that we had were dimmer, weren't they?
Yeah.
And you could just see a faint sort of ghosty sort of vision there. But when you photographed them, you could see them. But one night, they were spectacular, weren't they?
We could see them with the naked eye one night. But I tended to spot for you, didn't I?
You
Because
did,
I could,
yeah.
while you were concentrating on the camera, I was able to look around the rest of the sky, and sometimes managed to pick up where they were sort of dimming down in one area and then coming out in the other, which is quite nice to see, really.
Yeah.
It's a really weird sort of shadow as much as anything else. Isn't it?
It's quite strange.
And it sort of flickers and comes and goes, and you have to know what you're looking for, and you do quickly get to recognise what you're looking for. It is different from a cloud, and you do have to be on the opposite side to where the funnel's actually poking out the smoke.
Yes, you do. Yeah. And we also had issues with coloured lights on the ship as well, which were distorting. And one night in the early days, earlier on in the cruise, people were taking photographs and they had like a purple vision, and we actually think it was reflections off the clouds from above from the lights that were on the ship. And occasionally they would turn them off. People would ask them to. We saw Third Officer, didn't we? And he got them turned off one night. But unfortunately, they didn't do it every night. They kept turning them back on, and it was really frustrating for people. But
they obviously have to keep some lights on for safety purposes.
The deck lights.
But it was the pink lights that were really causing the issues.
Yeah. So Andy Johnson's here. Good evening.
Andy.
He says, good evening, Ken Lindsey. First time joining you. Thank you very much. Cruise was fabulous. Glad you loved it. Just a shame we didn't actually meet Mandy.
No.
I know, we're probably in trouble for that.
Yeah,
I
I was probably hiding in a bar.
No, she saw you going up the stairs one day, but I don't know why you found that out today. And Reese has a question as well. Would you swap Dax for a couple of husky puppies?
No, he doesn't fart as much as they do.
Shh, Lindsey.
That's true.
He's
He's family.
He's family, yeah. And although the husky puppies are gorgeous, no, we wouldn't swap him. We wouldn't swap him for anything, would we?
No, we might
Bless
have an
him.
addition, though, you know.
An addition?
Well, bring a husky puppy. No.
No. Bob welcoming Andy and Claire. Hi Claire, good to see you here.
Yes.
And Bob is saying to Reese, no, but we'll give them Bob is saying he'll give the puppies a good home.
Yes,
yeah, I know you would, and he would give them an excellent home indeed. So I think we're back on the displays now. Yes. Paul and Carol saying hello, and Davina. Hi Davina. Nice to see you here again. We did have a great cruise, and we're gonna come to a few more bits and pieces about that in a minute, aren't we?
Hopefully.
Rose is saying hi to Claire. Sheila's here.
Sheila.
Good
Hope
evening.
You caught a glimpse of Dax. He's just not, you know.
No, he's aloof tonight, isn't he?
Yes. He wants to be alone.
He's tired. He's been playing in the garden a lot today.
And in the field.
Yeah, and in the field. Yeah. So Claire, is saying hi to Rose. Everyone's saying hi to everyone, which is great. We'd love to see people talking to each other. Just gonna go down. Love to see you here. Right then, Sheila's saying hello to Paul and Carol. Reese, Innocence Abroad. I'll swap a husky for Dax as well. Oh, that's not very nice. I see what you mean. You'd like to have Dax. Yeah.
Dax is a little less difficult to feed. Although I don't know.
Cheaper, I should imagine.
Well, I don't know about that. Actually, they just feed them fat, don't they?
Yeah.
They eat a lot of fat.
And the cruise monkeys are here as
Yes.
well. Hi guys, thanks for joining us. If you haven't seen their live they did last night, they did a very, very similar cruise to us. They were on Borealis at the same time we were on Aurora, and we actually got close enough to see the back of their ship, and they saw the front of our ship. We were taking photos of each other's ships and sending them to each other on Messenger. Very sad people we are. But so if you haven't seen that one, you can see some of their exploits as well, or watch their live and see what happened. Yeah, it was good. Charges of a Carol charge of fee. Oh, not sure about that. Oh, and Holly's here as well. Hi, Holly.
Hi, Holly.
And Tony G is here from Florida.
Oh, wow.
32 centigrade.
Oh,
It's
all right.
been hot here today, hasn't it?
Yeah, not that bad.
19, I think we had today at
Uh-huh.
one stage. I mean, that's really good.
Very unseasonal for us.
Really good for early April, isn't it? Yeah. Bob saying hi to the monkeys. So Gil and Sandra. And so, well, good evening all. Oh, and here's Hayley and Janet.
Hello, Hayley.
Hi, Hayley. We met Hayley and Janet, and I think they had a wonderful time.
Yeah.
They certainly seemed to be doing. Whenever we saw them, they were smiling, happy, and enjoying themselves. They were usually in a bar, though, weren't they?
Yeah, we knew which bar to find them in.
Oh,
We
Champions.
needed to.
Yeah, that was their favourite bar. So, yeah, good evening to you guys. Nice to meet you, and such nice company. Everyone was so happy on board, weren't they?
Mm-hmm.
It was a really, really, really good
Good atmosphere.
good atmosphere
Yeah.
on board. Sheila's saying loud and clear, are we that far behind?
Yeah.
Oh, we must be, yeah. Jerry is here. Hi, Jerry.
Hi, Jerry.
Nice to see you here again. And Tina as well. Oh,
Tina.
lovely. Yeah. Everyone's here tonight, I think.
Yes.
Reese's saying loud and clear. David. I haven't mentioned David. Nice to see you, David. And Keith as well. Keith and Christine here. Hope you're well. We are well.
Here we are.
Which wasn't the case at the start of the cruise, was it?
No, you weren't. I was fine. Sorry.
We had a sort of torrid, didn't we? Like the day before
lead
and the
up to
actual
it.
day of the cruise, it was horrendous. We've had this plan for ages, and
Everything was organised.
everything was
Suitcases,
organised. Yeah,
dog, everything was
packed.
all organised.
And then on the Sunday, and everything was booked because Lindsey's got a book, and when we book car parking and tours and things like, she always writes it down and ticks it all off to say it's all done. So we had a bit of a shock, really, didn't we?
On the morning of the cruise.
On the morning of the cruise. So Sunday afternoon, I ended up spending all afternoon in hospital until the early evening. I got cellulitis in my ear, which was extremely painful, but thank you, NHS. Apart from missing out on a few drinks for the first week of the cruise, it's all healed up and it's gone down now, and I've just got a little bit of pain left, so thank you, otherwise we wouldn't have been going.
No. Sorry.
It was great. But Saturday morning, Monday morning, wasn't it, when we went to Sal?
We went on Thursday.
No, we went on a Monday because it was a Sunday I spent in hospital.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So the Monday morning, because I've been out of order on the Sunday, we didn't get all the paperwork out until the Monday morning. So I took the dog for a walk, getting the paperwork out, went to find the car parking paperwork.
Not there.
Couldn't find it. Lindsey checked her book, car parking, booked. So we thought, what the hell's going on here? So I rang CPS and said, no, you're not booked in for today. Oh my Lord. And then she said, could you give me your booking reference? So I gave her the booking. Oh yes, she said, you had it as a part of your select fare, but for some reason the booking had disappeared or we hadn't done it. But it's really unusual for Lindsey to write something down and say that that she'd actually booked it, or we'd actually booked it if she hadn't. Bizarre. So
Long story short, please.
Long story short, yeah. You dropped the dog off down at his auntie's. I made some phone calls, rang Penguin Parking. They booked us in on that day. Thank you so much. If it wasn't for that, we'd have been in the multi-story or something. Yeah. But it was a really good service, I must say.
Very good service, actually, wasn't it?
Slightly more expensive than CPS, but it'll all be covered in the vlog. So we almost didn't go, did we?
Oh.
It was hard, wasn't it?
It was just a bit... It's, when you get onto the ship and you suddenly land and you think, oh, thank God for that. It was one of those moments.
And I couldn't even have a drink. Really?
No.
Well, I shouldn't have. I think I did, though. Land Rover 1965 is here. Good evening. Paul and Carol said they can hear us. Jerry's saying hi to the monks. Life in the Parks is here. Hope you both well. We are very well, aren't we?
Yes,
very well. Thank you. Paul and Carol, evening Jerry. Welcome back, both of you from sunny Cornwall. Tracy and Brian, thank you very much. Yeah, it's sunny everywhere, I think.
Everywhere.
And Warren's here as well from across the pond.
Oh, all right.
Nice of you to join us again, Warren. Welcome back
Andy
from
and
the
Carla.
top of the world. And Andy and Carla were there 2 weeks before us. They were on unfortunate they didn't get into Stavanger.
Stavanger, lovely place.
Well,
Sorry.
yeah, Stavanger was, well, I'll just show you, look, this is the weather we had in Stavanger. It was beautiful blue skies and sunny.
Yeah, it was
Wasn't
really
it?
nice.
It was really nice.
Really warm there that
It
day.
was shirt sleeve
Yeah.
weather, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So really good. So yeah, question. Andy and Carla, what was your favourite part of the cruise?
Dogs. Sorry. You know, one can only suffer so much talk about apps to do with the Northern Lights and settings on cameras and things, and then you just see the dogs and everything melts away. It was, no, it's definitely the dogs.
And the scenery.
Yeah, the scenery was quite spectacular. We went on the boat tour on at Stavanger. We just did it privately, just booked it up on the quayside there. And the reflections in that water was stunning. I'm going to have to do some.
Have I got a picture of that, Lindsey?
I think we've got one of yours.
I think no, I didn't do mine. I got one of yours.
Oh.
Here you go. There, that was reflections up Lysford, wasn't it? Yeah, beautiful. The other thing that was a very pleasant surprise for us, being a regular P&O cruiser, I think, was the quality and the choice of the food in the main dining room.
That's dramatically changed.
Boy, oh boy, have they upped their game.
Yeah. The choice was very much better, and I think the quality had increased as well. It was very, very good actually.
And the service was excellent in the main dining room.
I mean, we did go and eat elsewhere, but we didn't feel that we had to go elsewhere to get a decent meal.
No, it was so unlike our experience on Queen Victoria.
Yeah.
In December, where we found that the main dining room food was not particularly interesting, but we ate a lot in the buffet on it, and the buffet food on Queen Victoria was brilliant. However, the buffet food on Aurora was not good at all, was it?
No.
It was very poor. So maybe they put all their efforts into I better take that off the screen. Maybe they put all their efforts into the main dining room and sort of let down the
I don't know, but of course the poolside grill closed after 2 days.
Yeah.
For weather conditions.
Yeah,
and I do put that in inverted commas because even when it got warmer, they didn't open it up again.
No.
But that meant that they moved that into the buffet area as well.
Yes.
Which meant that those people that would naturally have gone to the burger bar to get a snack were all going into the buffet as well, which means it was even more crowded than it ever was before.
Yeah, it was.
It was fairly well chaotic. Wasn't it?
The only good thing about the buffet was late night.
Yeah.
The late night snacks that we only had them once or twice, a couple of sausage rolls and some hot chocolate.
They were very good.
They were very good.
Yeah.
So
and that's a bit weird, isn't it?
So yeah, we enjoyed that. And the other thing that I really enjoyed on the cruise was the people, the passengers.
Yeah.
We met some wonderful people on there and had a really good time with them, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, it was great. Right, so I hope that. What was your favourite bit, Andy and Carla? Because you did the same cruise
2 weeks before.
Immediately before us, yeah. Jack. Hi, Jack from sunny Wales. Yeah, everywhere's sunny. It's fantastic.
Well, over this side of the pond anyway.
Yeah. And good evening to Victoria. Nice of you to join us. He's done his garden jobs already. Well done, Paul.
Can't you find some more?
Hey. No, he's my mate, and we've been talking earlier today, and he's all up to date. Yeah. So
you're never up to date in the garden.
Yeah, there's.
I've been trying to dig leeks. That's not an easy job.
No, the ground's so hard, isn't it?
It's so hard.
So Bob's here on about Thatchers. You can't get it in California, USA.
Oh,
no. Did you see
bless.
my little Thatchers? I'm just trying to copy Paul, but they haven't sent me any free drinks. But whatever.
Must try harder.
The dog sledding looks wonderful. It was. I've got another picture here somewhere. Where is it? There we go. There we go. That was it. But it's not the same in stills, is it? It's much better
No.
when you're actually on there and enjoying it. It's wonderful. Tina The church and cathedral looks amazing. Yeah, that's the Cathedral of the Northern Lights in Alta. I think I might have a picture of us there. Is that the one there? No. Oh,
Well, that's more reflections.
That's more reflections. No. But
it's very unusual. It's unusual from the outside as well as the inside.
That's the inside of the church.
The altar. And we got loads of snaps as well of the rest of the church inside.
Yeah.
It was quite spectacular.
Different.
Yeah.
Very different.
Yeah.
Very modern. We never actually got inside 2 years ago because it was in use. So this time on the Monday we actually got inside, and we also went down to the basement where they've got a display all about the Northern Lights, and a little video there as well for you to watch, and all about what causes them and how it happens. That was quite interesting for a little while. Charged, well, I can't remember how much we paid to go in there now.
No, I can't remember.
But yeah,
it was probably one of the cheaper things that we did.
Yeah, I think the other thing that Lindsey will remember is this. Close your ears, Carol, because Lindsay's about to tell you what she did.
I went up in the gondola.
Yes, Rommel's, yeah.
And I found the secret to going up. I was kind of sat in the middle where I couldn't see much, but I was looking outside, and that way I didn't feel as though I was heading upwards or leaving that way. And then we got to the bit where it goes
the pylon.
Over the pylon, and it did make rather a loud rumble as we went over.
And it swung, didn't it? Yeah.
And I have to say, I wasn't the one that screamed.
No, but I did video it. I did video it. I got the screams on the video, so that'll come out later.
But it wasn't me, because it all finished by the time I got ready to scream.
Yes.
But
coming down,
views were amazing.
Oh,
but coming down, my dear beloved husband, we were lucky enough to get into the gondola sort of second couple in. Yeah. So what does he do? He goes right to the front.
It was good though, wasn't it?
At which point I would have been forgiven for committing murder.
It did hurt. But you survived, and it wasn't as bad as going up, was it?
Really?
Well, it wasn't, was it? Not. No, it wasn't, because, you know... Oh, and we've got Margaret and Jackie from New Zealand. Oh, nice. I'm just trying to work out whether they've had their daylight saving hours, but it's early in the morning. Good morning to you both.
Whichever way round, it's early in the morning.
It's good morning to you both. Warren's saying... Hayley said, love meeting you guys. You were so... Oh, thank you.
You were lovely too.
Yeah, you were lovely too. Little cutie, eh?
Stars in their own right.
They are stars. Yeah,
stars
very much so.
Right.
We didn't realise that, did we? How famous they were.
Yes, ice skating fame.
Yes, very good. So, Jack says, we went to Tromsø a few years ago in November, and it was -17, and enjoyed watching the Northern Lights from the ship. Yeah, our best sighting was off the ship on the way back down south, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I think that's when Gavin and Luke saw their best sighting as well on the same night. But yes, you can get them on the ship.
But it's a natural phenomenon, and you can just never tell when it's going to come out, if it's going to come out.
No.
Because they say up there that you can actually see them in daylight as well.
Apparently. Yeah.
Don't know. We had trouble seeing them at night.
Yeah, but when they came out, boy oh boy, were they stunning. So Tina's got a question for us. Do you collect anything on each of your cruises, like magnets or Christmas baubles?
No.
No, we don't, do we?
No, we never have, really, have we?
No, and I guess it's a good job we didn't, because we'd have a house full of baubles or fridge magnets. No, if we see something particularly that we like...
Which tends to have something to do with chocolate or nuts or something like that.
Most of our shopping's on food and drink, isn't it?
So that sort of thing we tend to get. But we've never collected anything like that.
No.
I suppose we have enough junk in the house without that, to be perfectly fair.
Yeah.
But no. And now, of course, you think about doing that sort of thing, perhaps now. And it's too late to start it now, because, you know, you'd have to go back and revisit all the places you've been before, which we do tend to a little bit. But no, we did collect the menus to start with on P&O because they were presentation.
Well, they gave
ones.
them to you, didn't they?
Yeah, and we collected all that sort of thing
So
to start with.
we've got a lot of menus from like 1998 to 2007, but I don't know, probably about then when they finished. But yeah, so no, we don't, I'm afraid. So, good evening, Travel Cape Trips.
My goodness.
Nice of you to join us. Happy Monday, and everyone in the chat. Nice of you to join us.
Yes.
We just sort of discovered each other, haven't we? Yeah, we have. And we've been looking at their bits and pieces, and they've been looking at us, our bits and pieces. So nice to have another person along. Mandy Jane Ingleston. Good evening to you, Mandy. Have you ever done the Land of the Midnight Sun cruise? My husband and I are doing it on Sky Princess in June. We are so excited. No,
but
but
I have been in Finland over that period. Many years ago, I did a scholarship with Young Farmers, which took me to Finland for a month over the summer, and it's really weird because the sun barely goes down. It sort of dips and comes back up again. 3 o'clock in the morning, if it's a good day, it's baking hot. It's much more weird than going in the winter and it being dark. I don't know why, but it's very nice, but it's a bit weird.
we've had some very short nights when we've done the Baltic cruises.
Yeah.
We've been there in June, but we haven't gone right up into the North
No,
Cape.
well, I went sort of 3/4 of the way up through Finland when we did the weekend with the young farmers in there.
Mm.
So yeah, we saw it quite a bit, and we were actually there over the Midsummer Day, and of course they celebrate it over there by going in the swans and then jumping in the water. Don't go there. But yeah, it's nice. I quite enjoyed it, and actually I had no trouble sleeping. A lot of the people that I was with, and we were scattered across the country, a lot of the others had trouble sleeping. I didn't. I wonder if that is anything to do with the vodka I was drinking.
Lindsay,
Well, I was.
you haven't changed much, have you? That's before I knew you. Good Lord, no.
Well, it was homemade vodka.
Oh, even
God.
worse.
It was lethal.
Right,
Yeah.
you're sort of looking anxious. Before we go on to our next question, have you got something you'd like to say?
Is this a special message?
A special message, yeah, I think so.
We put out a message on our last newsletter asking people if they would like to let us know if they're celebrating anything around about the same time as the live. And we had one reply.
We did, didn't we?
And we had a birthday. And the birthday is
For
for
Will,
from
Johnny and Will. So happy birthday,
birthday,
Will.
Will.
Nice to have had a chat with you the other night. Look forward to meeting you next month.
And hope that you're having a really nice celebration and not sat here watching this.
Oh, I'm sure Johnny's cooking them up
Oh,
something.
hope
I'm
so.
sure he is, yeah. Cooking
so
them up a
happy
treat.
birthday. And now we obviously like to say it to everybody, really. Now that we've realised that actually people would like us perhaps to, our next live will be on the 5th of May. And if anybody has a celebration around about that time, birthdays, anniversaries, anything like that, let us know in advance and we'll give you a mention.
Yes, retirements.
Retirement.
That's worth
Of
celebrating.
course it is, yeah.
New jobs, anything really. Yeah.
Anything.
New little feature. And just contact us via the website, and we'll take care of it. So Jerry's talking here about Diane. Diane's ankle is healing
Oh,
well.
good. I'm
That's
glad
really
about that.
good news. Yeah.
And she's giving advice on recipes now to me.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Oh good.
to help use up the leeks.
Oh, is that the leaks? So many
You
lovely
might-
people.
You might have a leek supper.
Oh, I might have a leek everything. I think it's leek soup, leek and potato bake, leek and something pie, and leek and anything. We got a lot of leeks in the garden that need eating up. Yeah,
We've been giving them away as well.
right. So Jerry's got a question here. What was your first ever cruise together, and why did you decide to be vloggers? So 2 questions. Shall I do the first bit and you do the second bit?
Okay.
Yeah. I'll have a drink then. So our first ever cruise together was in 1995, and it was on the SS Olympic, which there is way back on the channel a very bad video on there of our time on board this ship. It was all filmed on a VHS recorder that was like half a ton that you kept on your shoulder, and it was pretty awful, wasn't it, really?
Well, the quality was not good. But
the quality was not good, but we got the bug for the idea of it.
It was an interesting cruise.
Yeah, the ship, it was interesting, yeah. The ship became the Topaz. I think it had another incarnation between us and becoming the Thompson Topaz. But before that, it was originally the Empress of Britain, built in 1952 in Glasgow, and she was a transatlantic liner. Mm-hmm. So the ship was really quite interesting.
You could see that she had an elegant past, but she'd kind of gone beyond that. And we had a great captain.
Great captain.
We don't need to say it anymore.
No, he liked singing, didn't he?
And he liked his drink.
He liked his drink, yeah. He appeared to. I can't believe he did. But
and why did we become vloggers? Well, it was all down to COVID. We were sat here during COVID watching other people's vlogs.
After our retirement.
After retiring to travel more. And so we were watching other people, including the Cruise Monkeys and Paul and Carol.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, who else?
Gary.
Oh, Gary, we were watching.
Emma,
yeah. So we were watching a few because the television was rubbish, so we were finding other things to watch. And at one point we sort of sat there and went, we've got videos. We could do this. Mm. I don't think we realised quite how much was involved in doing them at that point. And I think things... Well, certainly you got much better at the technical stuff.
I don't know about that.
So, yeah, that's kind of why we started.
Yeah.
It was accidental, really, and you kind of get a bug for it.
And it was purely for us, really. I mean, we've already started doing it. We've only really been filming since 2021, isn't it?
Yeah. Since
the resumption of cruising, really. And we've already sort of gone back. So, do you remember that? Oh, what an awful video that is. Oh, do you remember that? And the first P&O cruise out of Southampton on Britannia. And the emotions were running so high that day, weren't they? You were virtually in tears on the balcony as we were sailing out of Southampton. And it's quite special to see these things. And you forget so much. And by this way, you'll always have it, because there will come a time in hopefully the long distance future when we won't be able to do it. But we'll always have.
But we also go back and look at some of the other people's vlogs, because there's always something by somebody else that is a particular favourite.
Yeah.
And so we'll go back and watch those as well. So, a lot of that is due to the fact there's rubbish on the television.
We were watching Paul and Carol doing their camping trips down the road in Gloucester, and we were just desperate.
Right in the middle of COVID, when they started being able to sort of leave the house and things.
And my favourite Cruise Monkeys one is still their Arcadia trip up to Iceland.
Yeah.
We watched it again a few weeks ago, so we just love it. And we will have those.
It's much better than the fly fishing ones.
Yeah, we will have them to remember when we're too old to do it, and we can relive our past. So that's why we did it, really. And it's just sort of grown a bit since then. Not too much, but a little bit. But we still do it for fun, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, and that's why sometimes it's a big mistake that I make, is that we start enjoying ourselves on our cruises sometimes and literally just forget to film things, and it particularly happens when we're cruising with other friends, because we're enjoying ourselves so much, we just forget to film things.
Yeah, we do.
And we just enjoy it. So,
sit down to a meal and suddenly realise we haven't photographed it.
No, but at the end of the day, it's our holiday.
It's our holiday, and we're there to enjoy ourselves as well.
Yes.
And for a lot of the videos that come out, we try and give a little bit of information and perhaps a little bit of something of interest, but also it's our record of our holiday. And we've been on numerous cruises with other people and watched their videos and gone, were they on the same ship as us? Really?
But that's what cruising's like.
That's what it's all about.
You can literally be on the same cruise as somebody else, and because they enjoy this and this, you enjoy this and this, and it's very different experiences.
It's very different sometimes.
Yeah.
And other times it's very similar.
Yeah, it can be. So, Jem. Hi, Jem. I think you're one of a newbie, I think, but great of you to join us. Off on Sky Princess in November on board. Michael. I saw that advertised. That's the not insignia. The no. It's a special one that Brian went on. But looks very interesting. We've sort of got other plans around there at the moment. But busy. We love Michael Ball. He's a local boy.
Yeah, it's family local,
Yeah, family's local, yeah. So I hope you have a wonderful time. I'm sure you will. We're on Sky next month with Paul and Carol's Street Cruise. Yeah. When it's minus 17, the battery on your mobile phone goes flat quickly. Yes, it does, Jack. Funny you should say that, because I fitted the new battery in my phone just before we went, and I bought some extra batteries for the camera, and
you were just going through them.
I was just going through them, and it wasn't that cold when we were there. No. When it was minus 20, they didn't take long to go through. Janet. Good evening, Janet. We're going on Borealis in January for the Northern Lights. How does Borealis compare to Aurora? Keith and Jan.
Ooh.
Right,
we've described the difference, the biggest difference, in that Borealis is very much like cruising was 20 years ago.
On P&O.
On Aurora, particularly. The ships are quite similar in a lot of their atmosphere.
Yes. They're both nice. The service on Borealis and her other ships, her sister ships, is exceptional. Yep. The staff were happy on
The staff
Aurora.
were actually very happy on Aurora. They could have been because some of them were going home.
But no, they were very happy.
They were very happy.
But Fred is just that little elevated. Up until this cruise, I'd have said the food on Fred Olsen in the main dining room was far superior. I still think it's a little better, but boy oh boy were we pleasantly surprised with the food in the main dining buffet, and the other venues is fantastic.
Yeah.
On Borealis.
The production shows are not a patch on P&O.
No.
Still. They are better than they were, but they are not a patch. Cabaret acts would be very similar.
Yeah, similar. Daytime activities, very similar. Lots of quizzes and things like that they've got on there.
Lots of places to sit and watch the world go by on Borealis.
Particularly,
there are a few places like that on Aurora.
Yeah.
But nowhere near as much as there is on there.
No, and a lot of the rooms that they've got like botanical room and I can't remember what they're all called, themed rooms, but all the seats are facing outwards. So as you've got all that beautiful scenery that you'll be seeing up in Norway, it's just nice to sit there and watch out and not get frozen. They've both got a lovely prom deck. Aurora's got more pools than Borealis because Borealis got the one, but the inside area of Borealis is probably warmer than Aurora. And certainly the poolside grill there is better than the Lido grill.
Yeah.
I've been working on another Borealis video today. Excuse me. So yes, they are similar, but Fred Olsen edges it. And their choice of drinks is a lot better than Aurora. They seem to be... I had quite a long conversation with the hotel general manager about the bar situation on Aurora because the choice of drinks on there seems to be getting worse every time we go on there.
It's very frustrating if you like certain drinks that you can't get them in every bar. No. And if you like husband and wife, whatever, and you like different drinks, there were times when you had to go to one bar and get one drink and the other bar and get another drink. Yeah. Which we said was just crazy.
Anderson's, you can't buy a single gin. They all have to be doubles. Not that really bothered us. They've done away with Fever Tree Tonic now. Yeah.
You can't have a Hendrix and a normal tonic. No. It has to be the perfect serve.
Yeah.
So you're ending up with a tonic water that you don't necessarily like. So it's just gone very strange. Yeah. But unfortunately, it's a head office thing, and then
But the hotel general manager said he had the discussion that day with the food and beverage manager, and they think it's wrong as well. So hopefully they've improved the main dining room.
What we
food.
need is a lot of people to actually feel the same way and make sure that they write. We've also found out with the surveys, we've said for a long time that surveys, when you come back from P&O cruises, are haphazard as to whether you get them or not. They have recognised that and changed it so that if you have an email address registered with them, and if you have registered to receive publications by email, you will get a survey by email. If you don't have them by correspondence by email, then you won't get a survey.
But it's not quarter of an hour. It took me about an hour to fill it in last night. Yeah, but it's because we had a lot we wanted to say. But yeah, there were other things that were very good on there and things not so good as well, weren't they? I was disappointed, and one of the things that I did say to them was, because we were the last cruise before refurb. Gradually, as we went through the cruise, the little extra bits and pieces were shut down. The poolside grill was closed after the Lido grill was closed after 3 days, wasn't it? The sports court, all the netting and everything was taken away. That was shut down. Parts of the casino were shut down.
They had things stuffed in front.
Yeah, they had just stuffed all over. The back deck on deck 8, they started cladding it so you couldn't sit out there. They just started shutting the ship down before we got back.
Ready for the 900 workers that were going on the day that we got off.
Yeah, and I did go down to reception, because they always talk to somebody while you're on board. It's always the advice that we give and the advice we've been given. So I went down there and they actually just lied to us.
Yeah. They lied to both of us.
So Lindsey went down later that day, independently, and mentioned the same things, and she got a different set of lies. So not very impressed with that at all.
There will be an email going.
There already has been.
Yeah, but we've now got another complaints place that we can actually contact, so we've all been putting together.
Yeah, so not good. Travel cake trips. Have you taken photos of the Northern Lights? If so, a nice large image would be so great as a backdrop behind where you're currently sitting.
It would probably be better in front of us, actually, but there you go.
Oh dear. Don't say that about yourself. No, we have got some good pictures. Unfortunately, stupidly enough, I didn't put any on here. Ready to show you tonight. I've got other things. I've got Lindsey's family. Here. There they are. Got them.
God, I hope none of them watching.
Why not? It'll be fine. Don't worry.
I don't like upsetting them, far less you.
No. So we have got some. It would look nice, but I think it would be nice at this moment. We could have put it on a sort of very good.
We'll have to think about that one in the future.
Yeah, we will have to think about that. Bon Carol, hi, Bon Carol. Oh, and another question from Keith. 20C, did you buy cold weather gear, or was it available from the ship?
No, we bought it.
We bought it 2 years ago. So we bought ski gear, basically. We both had salopettes. We both had unders and mid layers and a good coat that was, what was yours? Rated at 10,000 millimetres of rain, and mine was 4,000
like
millimetres.
Wearing a duvet, it was lovely.
It was like wearing it.
And the boots and everything. So we were well
snow
kitted
boots. Yeah. In fact, we for this temperature that we were in, we were
slightly
over kitted off.
Yeah, slightly overdressed. But you can never tell.
No.
I don't know if any of the other companies do provide.
I think some of the higher more luxury lines do.
And sometimes when you do some of the activities, some of the stuff is actually supplied for you.
Yes.
The private companies. But yeah.
Certainly those are doing the rib tours and things like that. They have their full suits provided to them. But yeah, so we actually had our own, and strangely enough, and I was quite surprised, it still fitted 2 years later. Just. It's quite difficult putting it on, wasn't it?
I will let the cat out of the bag. He did actually sell his old salopettes on Vinted because he bought a different pair that fitted better.
Yeah, but don't you remember we bought those salopettes initially in 2020?
Yeah.
For when we got halfway there and came back.
You really have
I have grown
since then.
I have grown since then. Yeah, shouldn't have, but I have. Warren says his first sighting of the Northern Lights was on a scout canoe trip in Manitoba, Canada.
Wow.
Wow, yeah, Kevin said that he's had a lot recently as well.
Fantastic.
Donna says, finally got to ask a question. Any tips for the October trip to see the lights on Aurora? Really wanted to join tonight. Thank you very much, Donna, for joining us. We sort of, I don't know how soon you were here, but we sort of did tips earlier. Somebody else asked a similar question. So if you saw them, all well and good. If you didn't, if you watch the rerun, you'll catch them then, because we don't really want to go back over old ground.
If you haven't got time to do that, then contact us privately.
Yeah.
And he'll reply to you with all the technical stuff.
It depends whether you want tips about, in general, there's clothing, trips, and when to book them or who to book them with, and what else did we say? Oh, camera tips as well. Not that I'm an expert by any stretch of imaginations. So hopefully you've seen it already, Donna. But yes, if not, come back and ask us and we'll get back to you individually. Linda, hello from Seattle. I do love to see you live. You always seem to have too much fun. Yeah, when I'm allowed to.
We're not gonna do a behind the scenes thing though, are we?
No, not at all. Not at all. I had lots of updates and I had to sort all that out again today, but not to worry. Right. Andy Johnson. It's Mandy here. Hi Andy. Going to meet to send his apologies. I saw Lindsey on your way back with late night sausage rolls and had a quick chat on the stairs.
I think we did, yeah.
Yeah, we did, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Mind you, the sausage rolls were taking precedence at that time, I think. It's so rare that you see them.
It is. And they weren't vegetarian ones.
They
were
weren't
real
vegetarian ones.
Yeah. Thank you very much,
nice to
Mandy.
see you both.
Yeah, nice to see you both. Yeah. And we've got another one. Babes down south. Wow. Lovely to see you both. You're happy to hear our message. Oh, it's Emma. Hi, Emma.
Hello, Emma.
We met Emma and her mum, didn't we?
Yeah.
They were good fun. And Emma made an impression on the juggler on board, didn't she?
She did.
She scared him, didn't she? We won't talk about your mishap, Emma, but he couldn't speak. He was laughing so much, and so were the audience. So it was really great to meet you and enjoyed your company in the choir as well. Linda says, where are cruising for spring? Oh, is that your first cruise, Linda? Or have you been cruising for a long time? And if you are, where are you going to? From Seattle so maybe you're going up to Alaska, maybe, or maybe going down south.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Hi from Hayley and Jan.
From Hayley and Jan. Yeah, good to see you guys again. Tina, it must be one with him. We love a book to keep check of everything. Carol's famous. I know. Yeah, I know. That's where Lindsey learnt it from.
It's where I've seen her working hers, and I must admit I don't carry a handbag, so I don't have a notepad on me. But there's all sorts of notes that go onto my phone in various places, and then I've got to remember where I put them. But yeah, it's something that
and the book does come in handy, doesn't it? Because you beat me with it sometimes.
But I start before I go, and I've got a list generally of what we have to look out for, or anything specific that we want to film to then put into videos. And for me to think about photographs for website and blogs and things like that. So that sort of thing is a good reminder to me. But this time it was just full of all sorts of things, including people's names and where we'd seen them.
Wonderful.
Oh my goodness, it was amazing.
Yeah. So Nikki, hi Nikki. Nikki says, did you cross the Arctic Circle? If so, did you receive a certificate?
We did.
Yes. And yes, we got the certificate the day before we got off, didn't we? We got one 2 years ago. We got one, I think the one we had this time is a bit nicer. Do you know where it is? Is it to hand anywhere?
I'll have to go and find it.
Well, if you don't know where it is.
It's probably in the kitchen. Oh, no.
No, all right, we don't know where it is. But yes, we have got one.
It's in the dining room with all the rest of the paperwork.
Oh, all right, yeah. So, yes, we did. And it's a really nice thing to have.
Yeah.
We didn't have any crossing the Arctic Circle ceremony, so did we?
Yeah, they do on Borealis, but they don't on...
They do on Fred Olsen, yeah.
But not on P&O.
But not on P&O. No.
I don't know whether they do on Princess.
No, don't know. But yes, but we have got a certificate.
Yes, we're certified twice.
Twice, yeah. Linda says, not always a woman thing. I make some of the arrangements, but hubby prints everything out and keeps hard copies. He doesn't trust the phone copies. Ooh, well, I
That's
tend
what it is, isn't it? There are some things that we have hard copies of and other things that are kept on the phone.
So what I'll do very often on my phone is if I get like the tickets we had for Stavanger, they were e-tickets. What I'll do, I'll take a screenshot of them. So if we've got no signal or anything and you can't get them from your email or something like that, I'll just got the screenshot and you can still scan the QR code to match. So you're sort of covered doubly. So that's what I do as well. Gil and Sandra said they'd like to print out everything and take it with us. Yeah. Hayley says, totally agree with Lindsay. The husky ride and getting to meet the dogs were out of this world. It's very special.
Yeah. Now don't forget, while we're here,
yes,
if you like what you're seeing tonight, don't forget to hit the like button, because apparently YouTube like that sort of thing. So please hit the like button.
And it looks like we got a record number of viewers this evening as well.
Yeah.
I think so.
It's
For
really
us,
good.
it's fantastic.
For us, yeah.
We love it.
Exciting.
So yes, and it was meeting the dogs was fantastic. Tina says, Linda, you learned from Paul and Carol years ago, I print everything out before the cruise to keep a paper version, as Wi-Fi is not always as good in the port.
That's right.
Yeah.
You have got to be careful. It depends where you're going.
We certainly did when we started cruising back, because the Wi-Fi and the signal in some of the cruise terminals at Southampton is not usable, so we always printed that out. Yeah. Tina Lynn says she's here. My hubby does, yeah. Food, Andy and Carla said, the food in the MDR is the best we've ever had on P&O. Our servers were run off their feet. It was efficient but impersonal.
Oh, okay. I think that might depend on your servers, because we had one of the funniest servers we have ever had.
Clinton spent half the night telling us jokes, didn't he?
And making silly sounds.
Yes.
And he was everywhere. He served us at breakfast one morning.
Yep.
He was doing the consomme as you...
vegetable consomme as you came back onto the ship.
Board, and then he was in the restaurant at night. He was absolutely everywhere, and he always had a smile.
Yeah.
And the what was the name of the other guy?
Romaro, who was the head waiter.
He was always very polite and smiley, but not as much as a case as that. The guys that served us at breakfast, they were generally okay.
Yeah.
One or two of them were better than others.
Yeah.
And when we did the loyalty lunch, we had some really nice service there as well. So,
but I didn't like the food. No.
Here we
But
go.
hey ho.
So that's your personal choices.
It is at the loyalty lunch. Yeah.
Hello,
Yeah.
come here. Down.
Yes. So Hayley says she loved the Horlicks and the late night buffet. Yeah, well, I think don't get it on all ships, but Horlicks and hot chocolate, really good. David says we're meeting the Huskies on our Celebrity Apex cruise in August. Can't wait for that.
Oh, yeah.
It's just such a special experience, and in the snow and everything. I mean, you probably won't have snow in August, unfortunately, but it really is just wonderful. We've done it twice now, and when we do this cruise again, because we will at some point, may not necessarily be on Aurora, but we will at some point. We will go and see the Huskies again, because we love it. We do. He'll bark at them anyway. No. Annie and Cara said favourite bits were also the Huskies and chatting to people we met on board as well, and the Ice Hotel. Yeah, who went to the Ice?
Emma and Dave.
Went to the Ice Hotel, and they said it was
by
fantastic. So that's something I think we ought to bear in mind next time. Can't do everything at once. David says good evening from a sunny Plymouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, sunny
So it's just going down now.
Sunny everywhere. And Minnie.
Oh,
hi,
hi,
Minnie. Saying hello. Auntie Minnie saying hello to you, Dax.
Oh, He's actually looking at the camera.
Oh, he
Of
is.
course.
Yeah, good.
Of course he is. It's Minnie.
Well, I did see your reel. The free bottles are going down well.
All right.
I tried, Paul, but to no avail. You know, you'd have thought being a local person, but we must make that date to go out to Thatcher's.
Diaries, get the diaries out.
Yeah. And Vicky's here as well.
Hi,
Vicky. Nice to see you again. I wonder if someone else found Horace. It's Horace. I think that's what you said he was called, as I heard him somewhere else.
Wow.
So we saw your picture today. Thanks very much. This is Hayley found one of Lindsay's ducks. How many ducks did you put out on the ship?
I think probably about 15 or 16.
Really? That many? So she put all her ducks out, and we've only had replies from 3 people.
3 people, yeah.
But hey ho, it's good. You like doing your ducks, don't you?
Yeah, and they've actually ended up all over the world. And I'm not kidding you. They've been as far as the Arctic and the Antarctic.
Yes.
And everywhere in between.
Yeah.
So some people have got them and are now taking them travelling, which is really good because it means that we're seeing their holidays from a completely different view. It's
Bob
really
and Holly had theirs on the plane.
Yeah.
Shana, wasn't it? Dr. Shana, she took them down to the Antarctic.
She had 2. She had Horace and Dillis.
Yes, she did.
And took them to the Antarctic.
Yeah.
They did behave themselves, which I'm really surprised at. We're making a collection of all the different sightings.
Yeah.
And they are available on the website. So if you want to get one of your ducks or a few of the ducks and take them cruising with you, then you know where to go.
Yeah. All handmade by Lindsey.
Yeah.
They are.
Keeps me out of mischief.
Yeah. For sale on the shop, on the website. And Florida and Lionel here. Hi guys,
hello.
Good evening to you as well. We met Florida and Lionel on Borealis.
We did.
Very nice people. They were celebrating their 50th wedding anniversary. So congratulations once again.
Can you imagine?
Carol says, fair play to you doing the gondola. Never again for me.
We did think about you at the time.
And
I took a deep breath and I went, this is for Carol.
Yeah, it was a bit hairy at the top because the wind was so strong and it was going sideways and everything.
All right, you don't need to be reminded.
Yes. Right, so Gil and Sandra said, did you do the Troll Museum in Tromsø? We did, and we were a bit disappointed. It wasn't cheap
That's where my family was.
That's where Lindsay's that's
they were all in hiding.
That's in the Troll Museum. Yeah, we were a bit disappointed. It was when we saw the adverts, we thought there was a lot of virtual reality and things like that involved, and there wasn't. So a bit disappointed. It was just over 30 quid for the 2 of us to go in, and we were in there probably not more than a quarter of an hour, 20 minutes. So we were a little bit disappointed, but we did go in there.
Yeah, it's a shame, really.
Yeah.
Hey ho, learn by your mistakes.
Yeah. But the £30 in Norway is not a huge amount of money, is it?
No.
No.
But it was much better value going to the cafe across the road and having hot chocolate and stuff.
Yeah. It was a bit of fun though, Gil and Sandra. It was. And you know, we won't be doing it again, but we've done it, so we can say we did. Claire says, what do you wear for -20? I wouldn't know where to start.
It's layers. And actually,
You've got a video.
there are a couple of shorts on our YouTube site that show both of us
what we wore
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Getting dressed.
Yeah, they're speeded up. They're fast.
Speeded up.
So you can, if you want to find them, they're on there. They're a couple of years old and they're on the shorts on the channel. But basically, starting from the bottom, 2 pairs of socks, snow boots, long john inners, thermal ones, mids, then salopettes. Then I have my unders, my thermal vest, my medium layers, and then this really thick coat. And we also have balaclavas then, we didn't use them this time, and hats. So that's basically what we wore.
Got ski gloves.
Ski gloves, ski gloves as well.
But we wear cotton or silk gloves inside.
Yes, we have a thin pair of gloves and then ski gloves on top. And we were -20 and I was out in it all night with Richard. You disappeared for a few minutes.
I went to get a coffee.
I know you went to get a coffee. I stayed out in it all night, and I was as warm as toast.
And actually, the only thing that got cold on me was the soles of my feet. And usually, if I get the soles of my feet are cold, the rest of my feet are cold. But it wasn't. It was just the soles. It was the most peculiar feeling. But yeah, it was fine.
The monkey said, "Did we bother with the drinks package on this one?" No, we didn't. We very rare. Well, we've never done it on P&O, and I'm glad we didn't, because I didn't hardly have a drink for the first week or so. Did I?
No.
The other thing that was really disappointing was to find non-alcoholic drinks to drink that were interesting. I found one mocktail. I think there were only 3 mocktails on the entire ship. I found one that I really liked. But you get fed up with that after drinking it for 4 days in a row, don't you?
Yeah.
And Coke, well, you get fed up with Coke, and Coke keeps me up all night long as well.
Doesn't it? Yeah.
Men of a certain age, guys. So no, we didn't do it, and we saved a lot of money because of the circumstances we were in. But the drinks have
I don't think it would have been worth it, even if you had been drinking.
I don't know. Drinks have gone up
They
a
have
lot
gone
more
up.
on P&O.
Yeah.
A pint of Thatcher's Gold now is £5.85, and I think the last time we were on there it was about £4.80. So prices have gone up. We've got a lot of them, so we'll show some of them updates in some of the vlogs because it has gone up. So Anne, hi Anne. Enjoyed Borealis Fjords till hubby got gastro on April 1st. Oh dear.
Oh, that's
So
a shame.
you were on with the monkeys then, on the same cruise. It does happen. I don't think there was many incidences on Aurora that I was aware of.
There was more coughs and colds on Aurora.
There's coughs and
And
colds.
a lot of people feeling very poorly because of that, actually.
Yeah, and there were a few medivacs as well in the ports.
Yeah, we had... was that Alta? We had 3 ambulances. 2 taking away and 1 bringing back. Yeah, it was very strange.
Glad you enjoyed Borealis. We're still in the process of putting out our Borealis vlogs. We'll be for, I think I'm on day 8 at the moment. I finished today. So we've got a few more weeks of those before we actually start the vlogs on this cruise that we've just done. But we had a great time on there, didn't we? Thoroughly enjoyed it.
Where have you gone now?
I don't know. Jerry says thanks. He was isolated for 2 days. Medical staff and crew were brilliant.
Yeah, they tend to be.
The medical staff and crew, when there's an issue like that on all ships, I think are absolutely brilliant. Luckily, we haven't had too many issues. Mum had gastro on the cruise once, and she was looked after. The only thing that I don't understand is, so she was cruising with my dad. Mum was locked in the cabin for 3 days, but Dad was able to go out and about and do whatever he liked. A bit strange that. You'd have thought they'd have both been sort of... But he never caught it, so the decision was right, I guess. Yeah. On the monkeys say, I love arcadey ones. Yeah, it was
They're
a
quite
favourite
special,
one.
those.
They're quite special, yeah. Linda, is it okay to film everything and just enjoy it? We love your videos however you do it. There are some things that you're not allowed to film. It is okay. We tend to, particularly if we're doing things around the ship, I try to do it early in the morning so I'm not pointing the cameras in people's faces. We had a lot of shared tables on this cruise, didn't we? Luckily, on our table was Dave and Emma, who we were sort of travelling with anyway, and a couple of guys from our town and a couple of guys from South Africa. But we tend not to film as much, so it'll be more photographs of what we were eating rather than
And likewise, when
talking
we're around the ship,
about
we tend to try and film and not point the camera in people's faces.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think it stops us enjoying it. It just means
No.
we have to look at it from a different angle.
Yeah.
And that's not always a bad thing.
No, it's not. The other thing that, due to copyright, some nights you are not allowed to film some of the shows, but that seemed to vary a lot on this. Even the headliner shows, some you
could and
some you could and some you couldn't. So we just sort of listened, and those you couldn't. You can usually take photographs. we've still got a lot of things here.
Keep going.
Yes,
Keep going.
have to have our fastidious with our hand washing. Yeah, that was a problem on Aurora. In the buffet, there was only one sink, and that caused queues as well.
And of course, people after a few days, they just didn't bother.
Yeah.
And actually, people were walking through and not even squidging their hands either. So, yeah, they brought it on themselves to a certain extent on there.
Yeah. So Linda's saying, have you been on Oceania? Our first time this spring on this line?
No.
Yes, we have been lucky enough.
And we're going again.
And we're going again. We did it on Riviera 2 years ago, and we're sailing on Vista in July, and thoroughly looking forward to it. So yes, we love it. It's fantastic.
And on which of the ships?
Yeah, let us know, Linda.
Yeah.
So I'm saying reserve gel on Borealis was so relaxing.
Yeah, especially if you can get one of those seats at the front with the footstool. Never managed to get one of those.
No, but you did fall asleep when we did go up there, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Right, let's carry on. See if this get through. No Fever Tree. It's now London Essence.
So if you have Hendrix, you have an orange and elderflower flavoured.
Blood orange and elderflower tonic. But it wasn't really very nice.
It was all right, but it wasn't Fever Tree. You could tell the difference.
Yeah. Florida and Lionel saying Borealis was very good. Looking forward to next year. We're looking forward to seeing you again in April on the group cruise. Woohoo! Be great. Lynn says, no Fever Tree.
Yeah.
That's a sin. Even in Seattle, we get it.
Yeah.
It is, and I don't know why they've done it, but whatever.
Yeah.
Can't answer that.
You can't answer that. Not unless you go and speak to my friend. He might be able to tell you.
No. Leave Mr. Ludlow out of this. So Margaret from New Zealand says, morning all from a wet New Zealand.
Oh,
it's sunny here.
It's a shame.
Yeah.
You're in the wrong place. You should be over here.
Yeah, it's lovely. People also have a community where they have questionnaires and etc. and may be useful. Yeah, very true, guys. Very true. They put the link up here as well.
Oh, well done. Thank you.
Well done. Thank you very much. Hit the like button if you're enjoying life. Thank you very much. Travel Cake Trips. Thank you very much for that. I think I had answered most of my questions by the time you got to it. My October trips will also be my first ever cruise. Now, see, it's a great cruise that we've just done, and we've had a fantastic time, but
everything on a ship is so new.
Yes.
And the cruises that go up there are so different.
There were a lot of people on it during that first cruise ever. You don't get the entire cruise experience because the outside events and things like that are very restricted and limited due to the weather. So don't think that all the cruising things that you see on that. I would never advise someone to go on this for a first cruise. But a lot of people were.
Yeah.
Look at Hayley. Yeah. And they had a fantastic time, so maybe I'm wrong.
And Janine as well.
Yeah.
She was absolutely terrified about going on her first cruise, and within 24 hours she was
running
around as if she'd been there all along.
5 years she took to pluck up the courage to do that one.
They're saying hello to Dax.
Yeah.
Now you've got to sleep here.
David says hello to Dax, and hi Dax, heard so much about you. Yeah, he's lovely. Poor little boy. 67 days to Sky Princess to Norway for us. We're doing the Magic Ice Bar in Tromsø because there's not enough alcohol on the ship. There's plenty of alcohol on Sky Princess, wasn't there? Unless you drunk it all.
Oh yes, you can do a really good challenge. Well, I mean, the group cruise that we're going on, that's going to get hammered, isn't it?
Well, it might do. I don't know what you're talking about. But if you haven't seen it, Mandy, I'm sure you have. Lindsey did a video on the channel about she tried 48 cocktails on our last Sky Princess cruise.
It was a 2-week cruise, honest.
It was a 2-week cruise, but it was 48 different ones, not just 48.
And some of them were repeated because they were so good.
Yeah. So have a look on there. You might get some ideas of what we liked. Yes. Answers on Disavow. We heard people were still isolating to stay put. That's not good.
No, that's not good.
I could go to MDR, but not Buffy, not allowed. Was using any toilet. Okay.
All right.
Right. Well, that's quite a sensible procedure. I know that when we were on Borealis, the captain mentioned hand washing every single
day.
day when we were on board. Different captain than you had. So whether it was the same, not sure. And you love the cruise show. We love the cruise show. That'll be coming up in a vlog in a couple of weeks' time, I think. Yes.
And the murder mystery.
And the murder mystery. That was special. So Anne says, got the recliners as well.
You worked hard on there.
Hubby was drinking 0% alcohol, Heineken, and you have various mocktails. The choice is better on Fred Olsen. Jerry says, great live. Thank you very much, Jerry. Looking forward to meeting you soon and next year as well. Yes. And Borealis was only our second cruise, totally different to Sky Princess. It is totally different. Some people will really love it. Some people won't like it as much. It's just different. And it depends what we like. Very different types of cruises. We like quite lively ones and we like quite sedate ones. Depends what mood we're in. And it was Captain Michael Engeland.
The captain we had was Captain Browno, who is usually on Balmoral. And as the two ships passed, he got very emotional.
He did.
Bless him.
Yeah.
He was a lovely captain with a great sense of humour.
Yeah.
Really nice.
So we've got to the end of the questions. We're rather late, I know. Anne says she preferred Borealis to Princess. I think they're both good.
Maybe.
But just different.
I did
just
see
different.
The cocktail marathon.
Oh man, you did see the cocktail marathon. Oh good. So you got a few ideas. So Lindsey, more housekeeping. What have you got in your book?
Well, as I said earlier, the next live will be it'll be on a bank holiday Monday on the 5th of May. And by that time we'll have been on our next cruise, which is actually taking place on Paul and Carol's group cruise, which is in 40 days. Not that I'm counting. What else is there? I will be, obviously Ken's doing his videos, and we've got a few extra bits and pieces that have already gone onto the website. Some of the ports have been updated from the last visits that we've done. And I will be looking to do a couple of blogs on some of the more special things that we did as well. And I've got a great big list of ports that I've got to update. So there'll be things coming up on the website, so do take a look from time to time and just see what we've been adding to it.
And thank you for that. Thank you for joining us tonight. There's one more question come through. Tina says, do you have another cruise before? No, we don't. No.
We can manage that.
I don't. We can manage that. We haven't got a gap, have you, Lindsey?
No, I haven't got a gap.
Lindsey
No. Might have one later in the year, but I haven't got a gap now.
Paul and Carol saying thank you for a great chat. Thank you very much for joining us with your spanner in hand. First live. Thank you, David. Thanks for joining us. Hope you found it interesting. And Andy, with you both, thank you very much. So, thank you all so much for joining us. Hope it's been useful to you. I'll just leave you with our little outro.
Bye.
Bye.
Why not pop over to our website, kengoescruising.co.uk. There you can find out a little more about us. Check out our reviews on ships we've cruised on and some of the ports of call we've enjoyed to date. We also have a small online shop for you to browse that includes our very own Dillis cruising ducks. If you'd like to contact us about anything, just go to our Contact Us page.